Excuse the interruption, but I'm Sarah Hagler. Allie, the candy machine has finally been turned back on. Do you foresee it being turned off anytime soon?
I'm Allie Heisler. Nope, my new blanks are working just fine.
What did the kids who weren't in computer class do for candy all those days?
Who cares? I say let them eat cake. We had plenty of candy. Hello boys and girls. Today we have our new What's the Word and of course mail time, but we'll start off the show with an update on the North Star basketball season. Sarah, what are your thoughts on the start of the girls basketball season?
Well, so far it has been quite impressive. I mean, we haven't lost a game, but I feel like as our schedule will go on, it'll keep getting tougher and tougher. We have played Rolla, who's one of the top teams in the polls, and we ended their winning streak. But other than that, the only other team in the polls that we have played is Benson County. We were supposed to play the Lakota Raiders in the championship game of the Ramsey County tournament, but that got canceled due to our wonderful North Dakota winter weather. That game is rescheduled for February 10th, and that'll be our next big test. Allie, what about the boys' season and their losses at home?
The boys have a grueling schedule, playing top teams early on in their season. They've played Rugby, Cavalier, and Four Winds, who are all rated in the top 3 when we played them. They also played Grafton, who is receiving votes. The Four Winds game was the championship game of the Ramsey County tournament, and they took the remaining 3 teams on at home. No games were blowouts, and the boys proved they could stick with the best competition in the state, despite their losses at home and on the road. They did recently get their first home victory against the Rolla Bulldogs. Sarah, there's been a lot of discussion of the new rules about hand checking. How do you think these rules have been enforced?
I think the refs have been trying to enforce the new rules. They remind the captains of each team before the game starts that hand checking will not be allowed. Although this is a hard call to keep consistent from ref to ref and game to game, they have not been doing too bad of a job. I personally get more charging fouls than hand-checking fouls, so the new rules don't worry me as much.
And now it's...
mail time!
Flip Flop writes, what region has the best boys basketball teams?
Region 6, with Rugby, Des Lacs, Minot Ryan, West Hope, and Berthold. This region by far has the toughest competition from top to bottom, with Rugby being the top and Des Lacs following. Regions 1, 4, and 7 have fallen due to graduation this year, so each team in those regions have a chance at making it to state. A old-timer writes, are there any teams that should not be in the polls?
During the first few weeks, the polls are kind of meaningless because some teams haven't played any quality competition. The boys' poll included teams like Strasburg, Beulah, Berthold, and Hazen early on. They had very good records, but they hadn't played any top-caliber teams like the Rugbies, Cavaliers, and Four Winds of the state. Now the polls are becoming more meaningful as the season progresses. Sarah, winner without rights, how have the girls adjusted to their new head coach?
Having Mrs. Miller as a coach is a little different than having Mr. Lindahl, but I think she's doing a fine job. Everyone gets along with her and respects her as their coach. She works very hard and wants to be successful. The girls greatly appreciate her.
Time for a quick break.
Be sure to watch all home basketball games this season on NHSPN. Games are streamed on Ustream TV, on channel NHS Girls BB and channel nhsboysbb. And be sure to catch our Sports Centers and ETI shows. They're listed on the North Star website video page.
And now it's time for this season's first episode of What's the Word? Christian, what do you got for us?
Thanks, girls. Here's the first one. Christian's dunk was...
momentous. Not only was it his first dunk in a game, but it also provided a spark for the team in their game against the Rolette Comets.
Overdue. He and Weston are 6'5" and 6'6", and should easily be throwing it down once every few games.
Keeping it in the family, Macy's shot blocking ability is...
Intimidating. I would not want to be on the other team getting stuffed like that all the time.
Expected. At 6'3", Macy is way taller than everyone, so I would be more shocked if she wasn't getting many blocks.
And finally, being undefeated after the first 10 games is
promising. Now that we finally have played a top-ranked team, our record has more meaning. That win against Rolla proved we can compete with some of the ranked competition in the state.
Irrelevant. It's good to be winning early on, but it's most important to be at the top of your game during the postseason.
And now it's time for the big finish. Sarah, what was your opinion of Minnewacan's new gym?
It was nice, but I'm not really sure why they didn't incorporate their school color of blue in their design. They chose red and black. Allie, how was the long ride home from Cavalier?
Well, it took a lot longer than expected due to the bad road conditions. I will give props to bus driver Ethan Oakland for driving us through every blizzard this season. So far, we've made it back in one piece every time. Sarah, what do you think of the selection of songs that the boys basketball team listens to get fired up before a game?
Their musical selection is a little on the feminine side, with music from a variety of eras. Their playlist includes Blame It on the Boogie and Backstreet's Back, as well as other interesting songs. Allie, how do you think the boys will match up in their upcoming game against St. John?
St. John will be tough competition and a big district matchup, but the boys should be prepared since they have played some top-ranked teams. That's it for today. We'll try and do better next time. Good night, knuckleheads.
Good night, Can Do.
Oh, I'm not feeling too good.